there currently.
I've seen cars blow up, but I've never seen a car like this.
Next to a train.
She was like, help, help, I need help.
Soaring like a plane.
I just can't believe it's up there.
This was no typical.
You gotta see this.
Automobile.
Her girlfriend calls me and says, go help Lou. I go help Lou, and I come look at the accident. I was like, I can't help you. You're gonna have to dial 911.
Within minutes, police blocked off Bronson Street.
That's a very interesting call.
As firefighters used posts and blocks to secure a car 12 feet up.
I was scared.
With a woman trapped on the road, less traveled.
Somehow she got on the tracks and came down here, tried to turn around and go back and drove off the edge.
Vibrations from passing trains didn't help the matter, so Rao police shut down all traffic before freeing the woman.
Come on, Lou.
This was Lucinda Doolittle's first railroad adventure,
They'll be like, only my mom would do that.
with plans for it to be her last.
I don't normally drive next to a train, so I just figured I missed the road and I figured I'd just take it, but I didn't realize it would wind up the way it did.
But as for a way to take it down, just thank big rigs and nighttime towing. Using a steel cable, this Buick LeSabre was pulled to safety with quite a tall tail
I've been known for doing some pretty stupid stuff.
for years to come.
My kids will be telling it then.
Thursday morning started off like any other on North Brookfield Street, but the day quickly turned into a nightmare for its residents.
And the police guy told me that there's a guy here with an automatic rifle.
A man in 1633 had barricaded himself and dangerous weapons inside. A sniper rifle, a window facing down the street, and a silhouette that kept appearing there were all ominous signs of what was to come. Earlier, police say the man's family called them saying he was acting erratically, and just after 11, that erratic behavior would cost him his life. Police say for a while they were able to communicate with the man through the help of his family.
We were just going on what we were being told by family members, which was that he was having some sort of, mental health issue.
But after he stopped talking, SWAT teams moved in.
We were met by the individual who was carrying a long gun, and apparently a shot was fired. Our officers returned fire, and the suspect is deceased now.
Lucency Jackson and his son Alex are refugees from Liberia.
We came from a country where they fought a lot of civil war, almost 16 years, so fearing seeing people being killed by straight bullet is something that constantly play on my mind when I hear a bullet shot. To be going through this is very frightening.
And the violence, many say, is something they're just not willing to accept.
I'm just scary of the neighborhood. I have my kids and all in there, my grandkids, so I don't feel that this neighborhood is safe.
There was once a sense of peace.
I take one day at a time.
In Donna Huddleston's yard.
It's about the way it is.
A retired seamstress with the old Gerber Manufacturing Company in Mishawaka.
I take pride in my house.
Donna neatly tailored her home like she did her clothes. In the spring of '99, a car crashed into her yard, damaging a tree and the fence.
They ruined the whole fence.
Metal was an easy fix.
That was a lovely tree.
The silver maple was not. After 13 years of dying leaves and a tree now 90% hollow, a notice finally came in the mail.
I said, oh, I know it's about that tree, because I seen the orange spot on it.
This year, the City Forestry Department targeted the tree as dangerous and ordered Donna to pay up to $1,000 for its removal off a city-owned tree lawn.
I don't have the money. I don't have the funds to take that tree down.
It's the dilemma of a dying tree, now in the care of a dying woman.
And that's when I found out I had cancer. And then it was stage 3, he said. So how long a time I have, I don't know.
Like this troubled timber, Donna's cancer started small.
I couldn't believe it.
But over time, it spread from her breast to her bones and is now in her skull, too.
It was devastating. I'm just a little old lady trying to live the rest of her life in halfway peaceful conditions.
An uncertain path with one trivial tree standing in her way.
I have nothing more to say.
There was 5 of us in the van.
You drive your kids to school.
I'm seeing this dump truck, and he's coming down the road.
You see a truck.
Rubber ball bouncing in the road.
You think you see a bouncing ball come unlodged from between its wheels.
It happened so fast.
Like supersonic.
You see it all, and yet there's not much you can do.
Like in the windshield?
It sounded more like a cannon being shot through my van.
Forget the descriptive words and just look.
It came straight and hit my headrest.
An inch from her head, a rock tears past Holdeman.
Didn't even hit me at all.
And flies toward her 5-year-old son.
If Kai didn't duck like right there, he could have got killed.
Had he not done that, he may not be alive.
Now the family can only marvel at the rock's pinball trajectory.
The rock ended up in this box.
It's probably like 7 pounds.
A 7-pound reminder of how precious life really is.
The Lord was looking out for me. It could have ended so much more tragically.
These are all oak, so it'll make some really good fuel.
It's fill her up, then light her up. Starting Ron Lemler's pickup truck is a lot like starting a barbecue grill.
You can see the charcoal behind there. That charcoal's red hot already.
But the contraption here extracts a gas from the burning wood that'll fire up what is behind the grill of Ron's 1960 Ford pickup.
And that's the throttle for the wood gas. The main reason I did it was because when I heard about it, I really wondered if it would work. This red valve, this is where I open up the line for the wood gas.
The process takes some patience, but in about 5 minutes, Ron is indeed lumbering along.
It has a little bit of smell, like barbecue almost. I use just stuff that we had laying around the shop here. The tank itself was made out of an old water heater.
On the downside, no matter how they're made, wood gas generators are big and bulky. Furthermore, a wood-powered vehicle generally won't go as fast as its gasoline counterpart. Ron's top speed is about 65 miles per hour. But on the plus side, if he so chooses, he never, ever has to stop at one of these.
I don't have to use any gas. I feel bad for everybody else, you know, that has to pay the price, but whenever it goes up more, I just drive my truck more.
Ron's never driven the truck more than he did last month when he and his wife Rhonda took a trip to Mackinac.
We can just hop in the truck, fill it full of wood that just is scrap, and we can go wherever we want pretty much.
Of the 900 or so miles driven, all but 30 were driven using pure wood power.
The fuel tank holds about 9 buckets, and it'll take me between 80 and 100 miles.
On gas, Ron's truck gets about 12 miles a gallon. With wood, it is miles per pound, and it gets 1 mile for every pound and a quarter of lumber.
Is it cheaper? I don't know.
Well, for me, it's free. You know, compared to...
Because you're in the pallet business.
Yeah.
Ron is in the wood pallet business. Therefore, he gets his fuel for free. It was when business was slow in 2008 that he first got the urge to become more energy independent. Suddenly, he had the time to do something more than complain about high gas prices.
He's a doer. He don't say a whole lot, and he does, you know, he's thinking all the time, but you never know for sure what he's thinking about. But once he makes up his mind, he's a doer, and he's done it, and I think it's great.
Ron drove the truck in last year's Napanee Apple Festival parade, and he will do so again this year.
I'm not really sending a message to Saudi Arabia, but it would be nice if America could use the resources that they already have on hand. Yeah, I can drive for nothing.
Next time your arrival at South Bend Regional has a nice, smooth landing.
Weather changes, so does the friction.
You have Sean Flanagan. Next time your arrival at South Bend Regional has a nice, smooth landing.
Weather changes, so does the friction.
You have Sean Flanagan to thank.
Yeah, they say we've got about the equivalent of clearing 47 highway miles.
His friends drive snowplows.
You know, a little kid would love to just come out and drive around in a pickup truck.
While Sean sits behind the wheel of this Ford F-250.
So we have to get the Bowmonk decelerometer all set up.
Ready for whiplash.
And to do that, we have to arm it.
It's all to test this unplowed taxiway.
We definitely go above and beyond what the minimum is.
At 20 miles an hour.
This takes a reading off of that. On that reading, you got a 24.
Not an ideal number, so we stop again. And again. To meet FAA requirements of 9 checks per runway every 2 hours.
We've got a finite amount of runway. We've got about 8,400 feet of runway here, and they need to be able to stop before they end it.
Before this jet landed at 120 miles an hour.
1836, holding short.
Sean tested its runway too. Every single time we stopped on a dime.
That scored us an 84, which is extraordinarily high.
The stats are then sent to the tower, so the next flight knows what to expect when its wheels touch down.
For 35 plus years, we haven't had to shut down the runway. So we stay open and other airports close.
2 more for me.
It may not look like much, but the smallest movements will lead to the biggest gains.
So sit up nice and straight and then pull back.
For the past year, Desiree Kindig has barely moved her arms or her legs.
Those feet have to be stretched out if you want to do standing and walking, huh?
She's just now started physical therapy, and these are small improvements.
I'm hoping and praying she's going to be able to get up and walk.
Last May, the Clay High School senior's acute asthma flared up. She went into cardiac arrest, cutting off oxygen to her brain for 17 minutes.
But she's come a long ways from being pretty much bedridden to being in a wheelchair.
Do you remember the social contract theory?
Back in December, we visited Desiree when she was wheelchair bound and seeing a tutor with hopes of graduating on time. Looking back just a year, she was an everyday teenager looking forward to going to prom and eventually college.
I know asthma can kill, but I never knew it'd be this bad. I never expected this happening to my child.
I think I'm able to do the work, so I should be able to graduate.
Salon 301, this is Stephanie. How can I help you?
Do you want to put a bump in your hair?
Although she's not graduating this spring, here at Salon 301, she's getting ready for Clay's prom, a feat in itself.
She loves getting dressed up, and she loves dancing and being with her friends.
This is her last year for high school, and this is her prom, so I think it should be about her day. This is her day.
And she's going to the dance with all the works, hair, makeup, and nails.
I didn't know about.
You gotta remember, Mom's sitting next to you.
I didn't know you cut your eyelashes.
I cut my eyebrows too.
Her eyebrows too, yeah.
And with her best friend Nicole and Mom enjoying some pampering.
I actually have asthma, and I never ever thought that anything like this could happen. So my heart really goes out to her that, you know what I mean, that this happened to her. But you didn't ask for this, and you're handling it the best you can, right?
Yeah.
Because even though Desiree can't dance,
the lipstick doesn't even keep her quiet. I'm running out of tricks.
She's still the outgoing, opinionated person inside.
It's very tough to see her how she is right now than what she was. But she's still the same. So she still has the same personality.
And still has asthma. With a puff of her inhaler, a corsage on her wrist, and some more photos.
Thank you.
It was time to carry her off to prom.
This will be Desiree's first time alone without me being with her at all times. But she's got her best friend and her best friend's boyfriend there to take care of her. I'm just there for the backup.
And even without Mom by her side, it looks like Desiree got to do what she came to do.
Then I'm glad she's having a good time. She deserves this because she's been in the hospital so long. This is a good time for her to be able to reconnect with her friends and enjoy herself instead of having to worry about doing tutoring, rehab, This is something that is for her.
To see all my friends and just have fun like a normal teenager.
Stephanie Stang, News Center 16.